and welcome to Impeachment Wrap. Where does America stand? Our web-only live show that wraps up everything you need to know about today's impeachment trial. And President Donald Trump's legal team concluding their final day of opening arguments today on Capitol Hill. They are seeking an acquittal for the president, but one question remains on the minds of most. Will the trial include witnesses? Karen Kafa has the latest from Washington.
The president's legal team has wrapped up their defense, but the floor action may be far from over. The question of whether to allow witness testimony like that of former National Security Advisor John Bolton is still looming, and some senators wondering if there could be more revelations to come.
The Senate will convene as a court of impeachment.
A third and final day for President Trump's defense in his impeachment trial.
The bar for impeachment cannot be set this low.
A source close to the president's legal team says they're optimistic there won't be witnesses called despite leaks of an upcoming book by former National Security Advisor John Bolton that says Trump ordered a hold on military aid to Ukraine until the country agreed to investigate former Vice President Joe Biden.
It is not a game of leaks and unsourced manuscripts.
Democrats still hopeful that the new information will at least convince some moderate Republicans to join them.
Every day, some new revelation emphasizes our request for relevant witnesses and documents in this trial.
Even before witnesses, senators will have a 16-hour question and answer period. After that, a 4-hour debate, equally divided between the House managers and the White House counsel on whether to move to consider witnesses and documents.
I'd like to hear from John Bolton, and I think the idea that's been expressed in the media about having each side be able to choose a witness or maybe more than one witness on a paired basis, it has some merit.
But the majority of Republicans still backing the president. And that question and answer period is slated to begin tomorrow afternoon. Senators will submit written questions that will be read aloud by the Chief Justice John Roberts. Now, these questions won't necessarily be impromptu. Senators have been running their proposed questions past party leadership to strategize for how they want to use the time. In Washington, I'm Karen Kafa.
Thank you, Karen. Now, yesterday's bombshell news about former National Security Advisor John Bolton's manuscript continues to make waves across Washington today, and leaders on both sides of the political spectrum have plenty to say on the matter.
I've seen the New York Times story. I have no idea what they're talking about. Senator Lankford has suggested to make the manuscript available in a classified setting and let senators go read it for themselves. That sounds like a reasonable solution to me. However, if people want witnesses, we're going to get a lot of witnesses. This idea of calling one and one makes zero sense to me.
This is a trial. We expect relevant witnesses. This is why I would be perfectly happy with having the Chief Justice make a decision on relevancy. And what the Republicans can do is to argue that they want Hunter Biden. We'll argue that he's not relevant to the proceedings, and then they can vote it down and have Hunter Biden. So yesterday, the Trump team, in my view, tripled down on the argument that there is absolutely no evidence connecting the hold to any investigations. Well, yes, we have a lot of evidence, not to mention Bolton, who is ready and willing to testify.
Now, it seems like every day some new revelation emphasizes our request for relevant witnesses and documents in this trial and gives it momentum. There's been a steady drip, drip, drip of information. The truth leaking out in one explosive article after another. In that sense, this is reminiscent of Watergate.
I thought it was interesting what Senator Lankford suggested. Hey, just put the manuscript in the SCIF and let people go down and read it. It was interesting. I thought Senator Schumer, what he came out and said, no, that's not right, that's not important, and we shouldn't do that. Why? They said, because if you put something in the SCIF, it means you're trying to hide something. Hello, that's how the House case was put together in the first place. It's what we've been complaining about since all this began. Adam Schiff and those folks had the super secret hearings in the basement. So if they have a problem with it now, why didn't they have a problem with it in the first stage? There's a lot of hypocrisy around here.
Now, at this point, you may be wondering, why wasn't Bolton called as a witness early on in the House impeachment process? Well, this is what led House impeachment manager Adam Schiff of Burbank to say about that.
We could have subpoenaed John Bolton, but we subpoenaed his deputy first. and his deputy sued us. And it was very clear that John Bolton would tie us up in court for months or years. And his lawyer made that crystal clear. So there was little to be gained. We had made it clear at that point with respect to other witnesses that we had subpoenaed who were refusing to come in that we were not going to play this game of rope-a-dope endlessly in the courts and allow the president essentially to obstruct the Congress with impunity, which is what he attempted to do by saying he was going to fight all subpoenas.
Meantime, the president took to Twitter today to again call these proceedings a witch hunt before arriving in New Jersey for a political rally. Now, his most recent tweet, posted around 2:30 this afternoon, reads, quote, "It is amazing what I've done, the most of any president in the first 3 years by far, considering that for 3 years I've been under phony political investigations and the impeachment hoax. Keep America great." And Bakersfield Congressman and House Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy also took to Twitter today, in which he blasted House Manager Adam Schiff of Burbank and said it is time to move on. So that's all for us tonight on Impeachment Wrap. Where does America stand? Our show has spanned the last few months of the impeachment process. And if you'd like to catch up on previous episodes, simply head to kget.com. For all of us here at 17 News, I'm Eitan Wallace, wishing you a wonderful evening. Good night.